Hey, it's Rafael here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about an inside view on the coronavirus situation in China. I just recently closed up a live mastermind here in New York, and the main question that I got again and again and again from students is, will the coronavirus affect dropshipping? How is it going to affect selling products from China all the way to the rest of the world? In this video, I talked to a fulfillment CEO in China who processes millions of transactions every single year for thousands of sellers on Shopify all over the world to know exactly what's happening in China and how is that going to affect your business and what you should do about it. He also shares a very profitable pre-sale strategy for your Shopify store that's already made my student Washington won $1,000 in profit in just the first day of implementing this strategy. Is called the pre-sale Shopify strategy, and the Chinese agent that we're going to talk to, he's going to explain exactly how to do it and how you can keep transacting products from China and avoid customer dissatisfaction, long shipping times, and keep running your business even when the virus is going on. There's this whole situation. So you want to stay tuned until the end of this video to learn all of the exact strategies. And one thing before we start, if you want a step-by-step course for free that teaches you how to go from 0 to over 10,000 per day, make sure to comment down below, automate in the comments below. I teach people how to automate their Shopify business. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and that like button, and I'll pick a winner. And if you're interested in working directly with us and achieve results such as Washington in our mentoring program and working directly with me, check the first link in the description down below to apply to mentor directly with me. Let's go on to the video.
All right, I'm here with HyperSKU CEO and Master of Fulfillment. I know you've fulfilled more than millions of packages and also helped a lot of dropshippers and people that are in e-commerce fulfill products from China all the way to the rest of the world. So give a quick introduction to the people watching here.
Sure. Hi, guys. This is Sean from China. So I've been in the e-commerce industry for over 15 years. Now I'm the founder and the CEO of HyperSKU. HyperSKU is the sourcing platform helping all the dropshippers directly source from the manufacturers in China and ship to the consumers worldwide by our own shipping solutions. So we managed to continue support dropshippers even during these few weeks, during the Chinese New Year, also the current virus situation. So wish that I can provide some valuable info to you guys.
Awesome. Good to know that. Okay, so let's go into the actual situation right now, because obviously at this point, everybody knows about the coronavirus and, you know, the timing of it with Chinese New Year could not have been worse. So tell us a little bit about what's the current status, what's happening right now with the virus and how it's impacting not only dropshipping, but China as a whole.
Sure. So in general, that we will say that now the virus is kind of adding into the third phases. So now we see more and more people are cured and less cases raised. So it's good, and the government are really putting tons amount of resources to fighting against this virus. Almost all the doctors from the hospital nationwide, even global, now are all getting into the severe affected area just to take everything in control. And also now government is making a system to identify or to set up the severe grade for each area to make sure that all the economics and the production can go back as soon as possible. Now we start to see the local government in a few provinces and cities encouraging people to come back to work. Some cities, they even to book the train for the people to come back to work in their city. So we see quite many good signs. But the realistic is for now so far, based on the study we do and also check with the folks among the industry, I will say that probably 20 to 25% factories are back to work. You can predict in the next 1 or 2 weeks, it should goes up to 40 to 50%.
Okay, that's reassuring. That's good to hear. Yeah, because some people were scared, like, oh, are they coming back now? They're coming back in a month or two. So that's good to hear. I mean, at least a nice percentage of them are working.
Yeah,
And
one thing to mention is that even they come back to work, the production capacity might not be raised to 100%. So it will be probably like 50%, like a step by step growing. And also like due to they also have a lot of how to say holding orders before the Chinese New Year. So we still need to be conservative during this period to push the products, unless that you have the inventory on hand.
got it. Okay. And when it comes to, okay, so you basically covered that. What do you think about Aliexpress suppliers? Should people still use them? Obviously, I mean, Aliexpress this year, it's going to have some changes. But what do you think in terms of workforce and people going back to the actual factories, Aliexpress compared to the services like HyperSKU? What's the deal there?
So I know like a lot of people are using AliExpress sellers. The problem is that like AliExpress sellers are how to say located nationwide. So in some severe area, they probably not get back to work. And like for some sellers, I would say 70% of the sellers are located in Zhejiang province, which is East China, and Guangdong province, which is Southern China, all along the coast. So these two areas are still kind of like the major affected area. So if you work with them, please double check that if they are back to work, they get the approval from the government that actually back to work in the office. I know a lot of people already work remotely, but if the office is not open, especially their warehouse is not open, even they hold the inventory, they won't be able to fulfill your orders. So better to double check. So for us, that like we managed to work during the past few weeks, and we already get the government approval for our warehouse to be keep operating. So that's why like we are fulfilling orders. But the capacity is different. We manage 3 warehouses in Shenzhen to fulfill order. The normal capacity will be like 30,000 orders per day, but for now we managed to do like 4,000, 6,000. Also, like, want to mention one thing is that, like, for the AliExpress sellers, they usually have a lot of employees from all different area. So for the employees that in from the affected area, they need to be self-quarantined for over 14, at least 14 days when they back to the work, and get the kind of like the certificate before they go back to the office, go back to work. So please keep that into mind.
Oh, well, yeah, because that's true about the government permit, that if they don't have that, then there's no point because they can't even ship the orders, even if they have them. So
Yep.
that's good to know that. And I mean, when do you think, because obviously even Apple, the company, they said that the iPhones are not going to be made at a normal capacity, that they actually told their investors, expect our revenue to dip and expect our sales to go down. So even Apple saying that, it's like, okay, this is not just some silly thing. This is a massive issue. When do you at least think or expect that it's going to go back to a level of 25,000, 30,000 orders a day?
So it really depends on. So I would say that I would like to be conservative because it really depends on a few things. The first thing is the production capacity, right? So and the production capacity, like for the products we are selling normally, like it's like consumer goods. So if the factory a lack of material or lack of part of the how to say the equipment, then it will be a delay. And also when the factory go back to work, they need certain time to adjust the how to say the production line. So it also takes time. And other than that, the domestic logistic part now, like most like the air freight is available, but the air freight is a bit more expensive, especially for bulky products. It can add like $3 to $4 per product if you are selling bulky products. So I would say conservatively in by the end of February or early March, we can like go back to 10,000 or 12,000 orders. And then every week, I think we can do another maybe 10, 20, 10, 15% increase.
That's good to know. That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm also reading a document that you shared with me, which obviously Shenzhen, which is one of the main ports or one of the main places where you have factories or centers, they can easily take them to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong ship them over to the rest of the world. So that's awesome. So, and tell me a little bit about what's the speed of, for example, HyperSKU. Let's say I'm a dropshipper. I watch YouTube videos and I make around 100 orders per day on average. And I don't really want to lose my business. I want to keep, I want to keep the volume, or at least half of the volume going. How could HyperSKU help me during this time, even if the whole virus epidemic, the whole problem is going on?
Yeah, sure. We built up our mechanism to actually identify the available inventory or the available factories for the dropshippers. Once we find that inventory that we can purchase on behalf of you guys, make sure that the product stock in the warehouse, and then we can keep fulfilling these orders. So the domestic part by air freight will probably take 3 days from door to door, like from the manufacturers to our warehouse. And then it will take average 7 to 8 days to deliver to the consumer. So in our warehouse, we are trying our best to make sure that for the product or the orders we get, we fulfill it in the same day.
That's awesome. Okay, great to know. Now let's get on to the actual strategy that a dropshipper should use for this particular time period and the next 2 to 3 weeks. So when it comes to, I don't want to make you read all of this that I have here, but for example, the things are, what products should you select, or should you keep testing products or having more products, as well as the types of advertisement that you should run, or should you test a bunch of more advertisements, and also the actual customer satisfaction in terms of arrival time. So obviously there are going to be some delays. There's no way of hiding that. So let's go through when it comes to, for example, product selection and advertisement. What would be your recommendations for a dropshipper in this time?
Sure. For the product selections, I would suggest that not to test new products at this moment unless you are very certain that you can find the inventory. And for the products you are already selling, same, that find the inventory, better to hold them on your hand or on the supplier you trust. Because the product you are selling, probably they are also sold by other people. So it's a limited quantity of the inventory. So whoever gets it can sell it. So that's a very important note. And also regarding the advertisement, also better to be conservative, not to be too aggressive. For the campaigns already working, just keep it. Maybe better not to test the new campaigns or new creatives until things go back to normal. If you have a sufficient amount of inventory, maybe this moment you can test in different areas. For example, you are selling in US and this product works really well, you can consider UK or some other countries, because the international shipping is still working perfectly fine. And your competitors might not get the inventory, so that will be a good time for you to test a bit. I would say that it needs to be transparent to the consumers and also with the suppliers. So if you see any orders or any products in problem, proactively communicate it to your consumer, give them some discount or some coupon or explanations to encourage them to wait. And also to not to cancel the order, and also proactively check with the vendor, make sure that every step is going normal on the calendar.
Yeah, awesome. That's definitely something really important. Just communicating with customers. Like some people just ignore this, and they're like, "Oh, my PayPal got banned." Yeah, of course it did. And when it comes to I was talking about this with my students as well, like adding FAQs, adding banner notifications, and increase the promised delivery time to 19 days. So is there a way where, for example, somebody that's using HyperSKU can know the estimated delivery amount right when they get the orders? Like, for example, somebody orders tomorrow, February 19th, then they know, okay, it's going to be average 20 days. So I know that it's going to be there on March 9th or something like that. Is that possible?
So I would say that so firstly that if we can find the inventory or the factory for our customers, then the shipping time will be much less than that. So based on the current shipping status, we also have some tracking code as example we can share that like the average lead time internationally is still like 7-8 days by our shipping solution. So the domestic part normally 3 days. But if we cannot find the inventory, then that's a different story. But as I mentioned that the factory, half of the factory will be back to work in the next 2 weeks. So considering that, I would say 19 days should be enough for a safe buffer.
Okay, good. That's great to know. Okay, and then last thing that we're going to touch on here, which obviously it's the how you're going to help drop shippers that are going through this crisis, because I mean everybody's suffering in some sort of way. You can't scale, you can't make more money. Your customers are starting to complain. So tell me a little bit about, let's say I'm a drop shipper, I make sales, and I just heard of HyperSKU. How can you help? And are your workforce or your people actively sending orders now? Tell me a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, we have customers actively sending orders every day, and we manage to find available inventory and factory for customers every day. So we get quite a lot of inquiries these days. So we are actually now expanding our workforce. For people who wants to source the products or finding the available inventory, as I mentioned, we built up a mechanism that we can identify the inventory and the factory. We also use the database, kind of like integration with Alibaba to identify the supplier. So that's how it works. And now I assign dedicated account manager to every customers that who have a certain inquiry, who have orders on hand, to help them manage the whole process and to be responsive simultaneously. And HyperSKU is a Shopify certified app directly integrated with your Shopify store. So things are pretty automated. You just connect the store, sync the orders. Once we find the inventory, we can start to fulfill it and also upload the tracking code automatically.
Awesome. Good to know that. And awesome. So to sum up, any last sort of words here for people watching that they might be going through this crisis? What would you tell them?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, that the risk always come along with the opportunities. Just don't give up. Like at this moment, optimize every detail you can, so it will give you a competitive edge when things go back to normal. So we are here to help. We can't commit that we can help everybody, but I promise that we will do our best to make things happen. One trick or one kind of very nice skill that our client shared with us is that you can consider the pre-sale model. So meaning that like you are showing on your website that this is a pre-sale product, you give a nice discount on the pre-sale product, so the consumer will have an assume or have an prospection that like the product gonna take longer time to arrive. So I hope this kind of idea as the last part of the discussion that can be valuable to you guys.
That's a great idea, actually. Like do a campaign where you're saying, oh, we're pre-selling this product, and then if it takes a little bit longer, then people are like, oh yeah, it's a pre-sale. That's actually a great idea.
That's it for this video and an update on the situation. I will be making more videos like that. If you're interested in that, make sure to comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in videos like that. Hit that like button so I can keep making videos about the situation, how it impacts you, how it impacts e-commerce sellers all over the world, and what you can do to avoid it. If you want to learn how to find USA suppliers and international suppliers and not have to rely on China so you don't have to deal with all this nonsense, click the video that pops up right here. There's going to be a square right here, how to find US and international suppliers. Click that link down below, comment automate, subscribe, hit that notification bell and that like button. And if you want to work directly with me and my team and get mentored all the way up to more than $1,000 per day, click that first link in the description to apply and mentor with me. I will see you in the next video.